Hi there, I'm Erin with 5 Parks Yoga. I'm glad that you could join me on your mat today. Today's class is going to be a deep stretch class. So I'm going to pick a handful of my favorite deep stretch postures and we're going to hold them and focus on our breathing and getting a little bit deeper into the posture during our hold. So go ahead and make your way to a seated position. We'll start here. And I'd like to thank all of my YouTube subscribers and members and my Patreon supporters. Thank you all for your support of 5 Parks Yoga. I deeply appreciate it. And if you like this class, don't forget to hit the thumbs up icon. And if you are not yet a subscriber, please do so. Subscribe to my channel and feel free to make comments and or requests for future classes. All right, so from your seated position, go ahead and rest your hands face down or face up on your knees, whatever's comfortable. Reach up through the crown of your head, close your eyes down, breathe in through your nose, and exhale through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Keep your lips closed and breathe out through your nose. This breath is going to be the foundation for our practice. It will assist us in deepening into these deep stretches and finding a little more space in our body. So continue to breathe in and out through your nose as we begin to move. So from here, we're going to take our left ear to our left shoulder. Reach your right hand toward the floor. Tense your fingers, bring your left hand up to the top of your head, and just draw your ear toward your shoulder. Feel that nice stretch through the side of your neck. We're going to switch sides. So bring your head through center, extend your left hand down toward the floor, tense your fingers so you're on your finger pads, bring your hand to your head and then draw your right shoulder to your right ear. Assisting and increasing the stretch down the left side of your neck. Okay, bring your head back to center, tent both hands, finger pads on the floor. Just slightly bring your chin forward and down toward your chest. Bring your head back through center and then gaze up toward the ceiling. Lift your chin a little bit higher, opening up through your throat. And then come back to center. Bring your arms up overhead. We're going to come into a seated twist. So bring your right hand to your left knee and your left hand out behind. Reach your arms up overhead and switch sides. Bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand out behind. Come back to center. Bring both hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, press your fists down, lift your chin, open your throat. Hinge forward if that's accessible to you, bringing your forehead down toward the floor, reaching your arms up and over the back of your head. As you breathe in, come all the way back up, release your hands, and come into a tabletop position. We're going to take 3 rounds of cat and cow, opening up the front and back side of the body. So breathe in, drop your belly, lift your tailbone and the crown of your head, and breathe out, round your spine. Last 2 on your own at the pace of your own breath. Come back to tabletop position, flat back. Extend your left arm forward and your right leg back for spinal balance. Keep your hips level. Bring your left hand down to your mat, and then bring your right foot and place it to the left. Your leg is still long. From here, you can bump your hips to the right and look toward your left toes. Feel the stretch all the way from your hip through your right side, and then the compression in your left side. And come back to tabletop position. Place your right knee on the floor, and then extend your right arm forward and your left leg back for spinal balance. Place your right hand on the floor. Bring your left foot to the right. You're going to tuck your toes under, place it on the floor. Your leg is long. You're going to bump your hips to the left and look toward your left toes. You're stretching through your left side and compressing your right side. Come back to tabletop position. Tuck your toes under and then sit your hips back to your heels. So take all of your weight onto your heels. Make sure that all of your toes are in contact with your mat and spread nice and wide. Place your hands on your thighs. Reach up through the crown of your head. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe close your eyes. We're going to focus on our breath. So we're stretching the toes and the soles of the feet. You're getting a big stretch in your ankles. And you breathe through the intensity, listening to the sound of your breath. Make your breath louder and longer as the intensity grows. One more breath here. Come forward onto your hands. Release your toes and then just tap your feet on the floor. Bring that blood flowing back into your feet. And then you're going to sit your hips back on your heels. Now we're going to stretch the shins and the fronts of the ankles. Only if this is healthy for your feet and ankles. If you have an injury, just skip this pose. Maybe you can just stay right here on your shins. Otherwise, take your hands behind you and lift your knees up off of the floor. A very, very big stretch. And these bones are a little bit fragile. So again, only if it's okay and healthy for your feet and ankles. Listen to your body. Okay. Now, you're going to release your knees back down to the floor, shins on the floor. Bring your hands back to the floor. Now, separate your knees, keep your toes together, and sit back on your heels once again. We're coming into extended child's pose. Walk your hands forward, release your forehead down towards your mat. We're stretching the hips and the low back. Your head is resting heavy, so there's no tension in your neck. Arms are nice and long. Can you hear the sound of your breath going in and out through your nose? One more breath in extended child's pose. Keep your right arm as it is and simply slide your left arm underneath your right. Come onto your left shoulder and your left ear. Switch sides. Extend your left arm long. Slide your right arm underneath your left. Come onto your right shoulder and your right ear. extend your right arm long. One more breath in this extended child's pose. From here, make your way onto your forearms. Keep your forearms in line, right where they are, so your elbows are behind your wrists. And then extend your legs back behind you. We're coming into Sphinx pose. So lower down onto your thighs, lift up through the crown of your head. Supported back bend here, Sphinx pose. And you're gonna take now your chin toward your right shoulder. Just look to the right, stretching your neck once again. Look to the left. Look forward. Chin to your chest, look down. Come back to neutral. You're gonna take your hands underneath your shoulders and you're gonna press up to a high cobra pose. So you're gonna leave your thighs on the floor and begin to straighten your arms. So just a bit of a deeper back bend here. Don't lock out your elbows, but straighten your arms. And lift your chin slightly up off your chest, maybe gazing up toward the ceiling. So you're stretching out your core muscles. So really feel that when you breathe in, all the way down into your belly. Feel that stretch. All right, let's press back to a downward facing dog. We're gonna take 3 breaths in this downward facing dog. Work toward an equal length in your inhale and your exhale. Listen to the sound of your breath as it flows in and out through your nose. On your next breath in, lift your right leg high. Make your way to a half pigeon position. So you're gonna bring your right knee toward your right wrist and your right toes toward your left wrist. Place your shin down on the floor. Reach up through the crown of your head as you breathe in, stretching and opening the front of your body. And then release as you breathe out. Coming into sleeping pigeon, you can stack your fists or your hands, or you can release your forehead towards your mat, or you can rest on blocks or a pillow. Okay, option to stay here, or you can come up onto your hands. We're gonna do a quad stretch from here. So if you'd like to take the quad stretch, you're gonna bend your left leg, take your foot from the inside, and then begin to draw your heel in. So you're using a little bit of strength in your left arm to pull your foot in. Maybe you can start to rotate your left shoulder forward so you're looking past the front of your mat. Maybe you can draw your foot a little bit further in. And then if you're holding onto your foot, just gently release it back down to the floor. Let's all come back up onto our hands if you've been in resting pigeon or sleeping pigeon, and then just draw your left leg all the way around to a 45-degree angle. Take your right foot to your left inner thigh. Look towards your right knee. Take your left hand onto your right knee or onto your mat, and then reach your right arm up and across toward your left toes. Try to keep your shoulder in line with your right hip. Okay, so don't sacrifice the side bend to reach your foot. Stay open and reaching. Release from your side bend, and then you're gonna simply take both of your shoulders and face them toward your left foot and forward bend over your left leg. Let each exhale guide you a little bit deeper into the fold. Release from the fold. Now you're going to take your left foot toward your right hip for half lotus pose. If you can't do half lotus, or if that's not accessible to you yet, you can place your shin on the floor. Reach your arms up overhead for a nice big stretch, and then take your right hand to your left knee and maybe reach your left hand toward your left toes. So same hand, same foot. So this is a bind, a twisted bind. If you can't reach your left foot, no worries. You can just take your hand out behind you. And we're not going to stay here for long, since we started with a twist and we'll end with a twist. All right, so go ahead and release. Come back to center. You're going to take your left foot and your left shin, and you're going to bring it down onto your mat with your left knee toward your right heel. Ground down through your sitting bones. Take your right hand out behind you. Lift your left hand up toward the ceiling. Lift your hips. Look up. Maybe draw a line on your ceiling and look back toward your hands, your left hand. Go ahead and release all the way down. Bring your left leg back out to a 45-degree angle, and then do the same with your right leg. So you're in seated straddle splits. Knees and toes point up. You can have your hands behind you for support, sitting nice and upright, or you can walk your hands forward, coming onto your forearms, or maybe all the way down onto your torso and your chest. Stay active in your legs so you don't overstretch through your inner thighs accidentally. And let each exhale guide you a little bit deeper into your fold, and let each inhale lengthen you through your spine. And come all the way back up. You're going to bring your legs forward, cross over your ankles, and make your way back to a downward facing dog. All right, lift your left leg up for half pigeon on the other side. Bring your left knee toward your left wrist, your left toes toward your right wrist. Place your shin down on the floor. As you breathe in, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Maybe lift your chin up off your chest, looking toward the ceiling. And as you breathe out, you can release into sleeping pigeon. Fists stacked, hands stacked, or forehead on the floor. Let your breath versus your thoughts be your primary focus here. Bring all of your attention to your inhales and your exhales. You can stay here, or you can take the quad stretch. If you're going to take the quad stretch, come back up onto your hands. Bend your right leg. Take your right foot from the inside. As you take hold of the inside of your right foot, begin to draw your right heel in. So you're using the strength in your right arm to make that movement. And then you can start to bring your right shoulder so it's facing the front of your mat, and you're looking out past the front of your mat. strengthen your arms, stretching your quad and your hip flexor and your hips. A lot going on in this stretch. Okay, if you're holding on to your foot, release it back down onto the floor. Let's all meet back with our hands underneath our shoulders. Stretch up, and then you're going to sweep your right leg to a 45-degree angle. Bring your left foot to your right inner thigh. We're going to take the side stretch first. So bring your right hand towards your left knee and your left arm up and over toward your right toes. If your hand doesn't stay on your knee, that's fine. You can bring your forearm to the floor. If your left hand doesn't reach your toes, that's fine as well. Just keep your shoulder stacked and your chest open and your hand reaching. Release from your side bend. Take your shoulders, face your right foot. And forward fold over your right leg, reaching your hands toward your foot, reaching your forehead toward your knee. Release from your fold. Bring your right foot towards your left hip. For half lotus pose, remember your alternative to half lotus. You're going to take that twist, so left hand to right knee, and just stretch up, breathe in, create length, and then exhale and twist. You can reach your right hand around for your right toes, or you can place your right hand on the floor. And release from your twist. Bring both legs out in front of you for Paschimottanasana or seated forward fold. Ground down through your sitting bones. Keep both legs engaged, just like we did in seated straddle splits. Reach your arms up overhead and then reach toward your feet. You can hold on to your toes with your peace fingers, your feet with your hands, or you can walk your hands alongside of your legs. So breathe in to lengthen, breathe out to deepen. A little bit deeper on this last exhale. Release from your fold. Cross over your ankles. Make your way onto your shins. This time we're going to take our knees together and separate our feet. Sit your hips between your heels, or maybe on a block or a cushion or a pillow. You can sit upright here with your hands on your thighs or your hands behind you. If you'd like to recline, feel free to do so. You can come down onto your forearms or onto your back. If you're sitting upright, make sure that your head is in line with your shoulders and your hips. If you're reclined, you're opening up the front of your body and you're opening up your throat. If you're all the way reclined on your back, you can reach your opposite hand toward opposite elbow above your head. So lots of options here in hero pose. And listen to your body. Back off when it's needed and deepen when you feel ready. And each time you do this pose, you might get a little bit deeper into it. You might notice a different sensation. If you're reclined, release. And then we're all gonna meet back in a tabletop position. And then you're gonna extend your right leg right out behind you just to release that knee. Tuck your toes under and just rock back and forth. You just feel blood flow coming back into your knee and your quads. And then switch sides. So extend your left leg out behind you and just rock. So your toes are tucked under, rock back and forth. And let's take heart melting pose. So if you need to back up on your mat, go ahead. You're gonna take the tops of your feet flat to the floor, keep your hips over your knees. Walk your hands forward and to the outer corners of the front of your mat. Release your chest, chin, nose, forehead to your mat. Feel this nice stretch in your shoulders. Take your hands back underneath your shoulders. You'll cross over your ankles and roll down onto your back. Keep your legs bent. And then once you're down on your back, you're gonna walk your heels in. Press all of your weight into your heels. Let your arms rest alongside your body and lift your hips for bridge position. If you'd like to add a chest expansion here, interlace your hands underneath your hips, roll onto one shoulder, then roll onto the other shoulder. Lift your hips a little bit higher. Keep your chin away from your chest, so your throat is open. And then go ahead and release down onto your back. Extend your left leg long. Draw your right knee in toward your chest. Interlace your hands around your knee. Now draw your right knee toward your right shoulder. Elbows come in and down. You can flex your feet back. Breathe in through your nose. As you exhale, bring your right knee across your body for a twist. Our last twist of class. You can take your right arm to goalpost or capital T. Look toward the right. Back towards center. Extend your right leg long on your mat. Draw your left knee in. Interlace your fingers around your left knee and draw it up toward your left shoulder. So it comes off to the left and then up. Flex your feet back. Elbows come in. Shoulders and hips are flat. Breath is flowing in and out through your nose. Breathe in through your nose. As you exhale, bring your left knee across your body. Extend your left arm to goalpost or T. Right hand can be on your left knee, assisting you in the twist. And then come back to center. Bring both knees in toward your chest. For Apanasana, knees to chest pose, toes, heels, knees side by side. Wrap opposite hand toward opposite elbow or wrist. Or you can just interlace your hands. Tight squeeze, compression of both hip flexors. On your next exhale, can you squeeze a little bit tighter? After you complete that exhale, just release to Shavasana. So you're gonna extend your legs long on your mat, let your feet fall open, And your arms rest alongside your body. Relax your toes, maybe wiggle them out. Relax your fingers, maybe wiggle them out. Close your breathing practice by breathing in through your nose and holding at the top. In the same way we started, release it through your mouth. And then just return to the natural rhythm of your breath. If you have the time, please extend your Shavasana. Otherwise, I'll meet you in a seated position. And slowly come out of Shavasana by bringing movement back into your body and moving your way into a full stretch. Roll onto your side. And then press into your hands, all the way up to a seat. Bring your hands to your heart. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Today's Go Forward may have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, and peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.